Hello, and welcome to the afternoon sessions of the fourth Labor Innovation and Technology Summit, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, where we are meeting side by side with the massive CES Global Tech Showcase. I'm Duncan Crabtree Ireland, National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator for SAG AFTRA.
And yes, applause for Duncan, please. And I'm going to expect more applause from you, Duncan. And I'm Pam Greenwald, SAG-AFTRA's Chief Communications and Marketing Officer. We are both proud to have been a key part of the summit since its inception in 2019. For our audience watching online, the Labor Summit was founded in 2019 right here in Las Vegas and was the brainchild of two extraordinary women, AFL-CIO President Liz Schuler and then SAG-AFTRA President Gabrielle Carteris, who is now the President of the International Federation of Actors. It was conceived as a forum for discussion, collaboration, and activism throughout the labor movement, and importantly, as a vehicle for centering worker voices in the conversation about workplace technology and innovation. It was and is an incredibly important undertaking that is crucial to the future prosperity of working people.
We bring you the greetings of our national board and President Fran Drescher, who are not able to join us in person, but many of whom are watching online. We also want to recognize several people in the room with us today. First, our elected leaders and members of the SAG-AFTRA National Innovation and New Technology Committee, the International Federation of Actors President and former SAG-AFTRA President Gabrielle Carteris, Amanda Ballantyne and her team at the AFL-CIO Technology Institute,
Woo.
Woo. Our co-sponsors at the American Federation of Teachers and Unite Here, and all of the union craftspeople whose hard work makes this possible, including, in particular, the stagehands and AV crew of IATSE Local 720
Woo.
and the Las Vegas culinary workers who are keeping us fed and refreshed. So applause
Yes.
for all of them.
Always a big hand for union labor. Thank you all. And a final note of gratitude to our union staff, SAG-AFTRA, Unite Here, AFL, CIO, AFT, and many others who are in the room today and helped make this possible. I also want to just shout out our leaders, in particular, Executive Vice President Ben Whitehair, who's been an integral part, yes, of SAG-AFTRA's innovation and new tech efforts for many years, through his service on our new tech committee and his work internally with the leadership team and the staff team. I also want to take a moment to go off script a little bit and shout out my colleague and my boss right here, and my partner in today's opening session, Duncan Crabtree Ireland. Duncan, yes. Duncan is our National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator, and he has been a leading force in our effort to engage, inform, and activate our own members on innovation and new technology issues, successfully, I might add, through a number of educational and informational initiatives, most of which take place on technology platforms like podcasts and live streams. Duncan has been critical to our success in this area and crucial to the success of the summit over the years. It's also worth noting that Duncan has been a powerful force for contract enhancements around technology and is really our members' voice at the bargaining table, where it is so, so important. He is, just as an aside, one of the principal reasons I believe that we were named to Fast Company's Most Innovative Companies list last year, the first union ever to appear on that list, and an honor that we do now and will forever greatly treasure. Duncan? Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, Pam. That was kind of embarrassing, but I really appreciate it. And I want to just say, first of all, that one of the remarkable things about the labor movement is that we all serve a purpose larger than ourselves. And of no one is that more true than of Liz Schuler, who's sitting right over there for those who can't see her on camera right now. President Schuler is a powerful figure in the labor movement where she leads the fight for 12 million workers, from the Union Hall to the halls of Congress and the White House, from plants, shops, and job sites to the living rooms of families nationwide. She helps workers come together to build power through their unions and collective action. I also want to just go off script myself a little bit to acknowledge Pam.
Tit for tat.
A tit for tat. But Pam is really one of the moving forces behind this summit. She is the reason why all of this programming is happening today, the program we had yesterday, alongside our partners at the AFL-CIO and the other partners we've mentioned.
Many people.
But Pam is really one of those kind of leaders who makes stuff happen, and I just want to acknowledge you very much for that, Pam. I really appreciate everything that you've done to bring this together, and I think the change that is going to come from all the work we're doing here, you can take great pride in that being something that you've helped make happen.
Thank you so much. I absolutely do. I'm proud to be with you all here today, and proud of the 4 years of programming that we have developed, and really super thrilled to see what Liz and Gabrielle and Ben and others are going to bring us in the future. So back on script. And by the way, speaking of Liz, President Schuler is a huge factor in the resurgence of union popularity across demographics that Duncan was just referencing. As Secretary Treasurer of the AFL-CIO years ago, a federation of 58 labor union affiliates representing 12.5 million workers, she brought a vibrant and exciting youthful vibe to the movement and created opportunities for young workers to show out in the world. She gave them a voice. She has continued to do so as president, as the first woman president of the AFL-CIO, leading in a remarkable way in this country and across the globe. She has given voice to the interests of women and marginalized communities through her powerful support for equity and inclusion across all communities.
And also through her groundbreaking leadership on technology and innovation. She's given voice and power to millions of workers and the unions that represent them. And the Tech Institute in particular is making an extraordinary impact and deserves all of our support. And I just want to say how personally gratified I am that, Liz, you've led the creation of the Tech Institute, because if we're going to continue the fight that we need to fight, we have to have that expertise and that infrastructure to do it. And thank you for that. And it's right that the AFL-CIO is out front here. It's uniquely positioned to lead this urgent labor-wide effort to center worker voices in the fight for holistic, humane, and equitable innovation. And only the AFL-CIO can bring this kind of analysis, strategy, and expertise on behalf of the single most important force on the planet, the American worker. Everyone, please join Pam and me in welcoming AFL-CIO President Liz Schuler.
Well, hello, and thank you to Pam and Duncan. Certainly, this is an honor for me to be here to offer a few opening remarks. And I'm excited to be here with our Secretary Treasurer, Fred Redmond from the AFL-CIO, who you'll hear from. And of course, our partners, we keep saying over and over again, the leadership of SAG-AFTRA, and I'm looking right down here in front at Gabrielle and the team at SAG-AFTRA, certainly AFT, Unite here, and our AFL-CIO Technology Institute. So it takes a village, as they say. So being here at CES is what I would say a stark reminder that technology is changing our work and our workplaces every single day, no matter what kind of work you do. And every one of us has seen that change in our workplaces as technology is taking hold. And here at CES, we get a concentrated dose of how tech companies and corporate America see the future, with over, I think it was 3,000 exhibitors selling what is next. But the vision of the future on display over in that convention center is the one that is developed by corporate America and driven by profits. But that is not the only vision of the future that we see. There are other options, particularly when you consider what technology could look like if workers had a seat at the table. Corporate America and its investors think they should decide our future for us. But the labor movement believes in a future where innovation is used to make jobs safer and smarter, to upskill, not de-skill workers, to create opportunity for those at the margins, where technology builds worker power instead of diminishing it. And we know we can only get there if we, working people and our unions, are driving those changes. That is the future we envision and the one that we are here to advance. Am I right? Okay. So workers need to have a voice when it comes to decisions about technology. We know that. That's why we're here. Because no one knows our industries, our public sector, our jobs better than we do. We are the working people that are on the front lines of that work every single day. No one has better insight into which innovations and which inventions will make jobs better, safer, smarter, and which will put people from workers to customers in jeopardy. I believe this is the next frontier of the labor movement, and we have to prioritize it. And that's why we're here. Unions have always helped workers navigate the shifting sands of industry and our public sector. We do that at a local union level, but also as a movement through our federation and as an institution that upholds democratic values in the workplace and gives workers a voice where and when they need one the most. And you think back to World War II and post-World War II, how massive investments of public monies went into developing innovations between government and universities and businesses, and workers were usually left out, left on the sidelines. So in this moment, we have an opportunity to do something different. We have a moment of great technological innovation and investment that demands that workers be at the center, and that is what we as a labor movement are going to do. Yes, we are going to make sure that the investments in new industries and technologies coming out of chips and science and infrastructure and energy bills, all that legislation, we want to make sure that's going to go into empowering working people, creating good union jobs, and expanding economic opportunity in every community. There's about to be a lot of money flowing, right? Billions, I always say billions of dollars pouring into the growth of these industries. And we are going to make sure that that money is spent wisely, and that the decisions about R&D and decisions about the future are made with worker input and with deep commitment to equity. And we're already working on flexing that muscle, right? And getting workers in the room. We're developing policy reforms. I think around CES, there's a lot of focus on tech, but right now, a lot of people are talking about policy. Right? And so we're already developing the policy reforms, developing and forging deep relationships with universities, for example, that are helping us not to just get workers in the lab, but also understand emerging technologies so that we can find what are the challenges and opportunities and that leverage that we need to use to bargain at our collective bargaining tables and organize and grow unions in these emerging industries. And the labor movement, as you know, in this room, we have been evolving and changing throughout history. No matter what kind of technological evolution has come down the pike, we have been there, and we have helped workers navigate technological change for more than 100 years. So we know how to do this. But the stakes have never been higher. So we need to take everything we know and share it. Unions are driving our own innovations and strategies every single day. And it's going to take focused work and collaboration to get there. So we have a lot to learn from each other. We have a lot more to learn, period, I would argue. So let's start right now with this conversation about the work unions are already doing and the way we work together to pave the way forward. But before we head into our sessions this afternoon, I want to recognize that today is January 6th, the the day we saw democracy under direct attack. And we're reminded that we cannot take our democracy for granted. We cannot take our democratic values for granted. And the conversations that we are having today about technology are in direct relationship with these bigger questions and these bigger struggles on democracy. How do we bring workers' voices, perspectives, and power into the big tech decisions that are going to shape our workplaces, our economy, and our society? Those are the big questions. And answering those questions is the fundamental work of unions. And it's critical that we see this as a fight for our democratic future. And that affects all of us. And only together can we build the future that we all want to live in so everyone can thrive. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, first of all, good afternoon, everyone, and I want to thank you all for joining us. For those who didn't hear, I'm Fred Redmond, the Secretary-Treasurer of the AFL-CIO, and I'm excited about being here. The last couple of days has been really an eye-opener, going over to the CES exhibit and really taking a close-up view of how they view our future. Was very enlightening, was very overwhelming, was very scary, but it also offers some opportunities for us as a labor movement and make sure that we are involved and at the table as we see this transition of work. And I want to thank SAG-AFTRA and AFT, United Here, and our Tech Institute for joining with the AFL-CIO to organize this summit. This summit gives us a chance to take stock of the opportunities and the challenges new technology present to workers and to our economy. And throughout our history, and in every industry, the labor movement has had to adapt to new technology, and we have. We are using new tech to organize and mobilize workers and to help keep workers safe. Our unions are training workers and giving them the skills needed for new and emerging sectors. We've partnering with universities and researchers at innovative labs, a few who are here with us today, to get a clear picture of the future of work and embed a worker's voice in that important work. So we've adapted, and we will continue to adapt because we have to. And that's our job as unions. Working people are relying on us to continue to confront the challenges they're facing now and to shape the future of work and create opportunities for the next generation. Now, how do we do that? By being at the table with employers, policymakers, and other key stakeholders, by being at the center of every single conversation and debate about the future of work. The workers who are organizing and advocating and marching and striking are looking to us to make sure that the benefits of technology and automation are distributed fairly. Because technology is neither good nor bad, and innovation doesn't always have to lead to increased inequality. It's a choice. We can decide whether new tech will benefit society as a whole or if the gains will only go to a few. But time and time again, we've seen our tax dollars go into government research and development that is then developed in the world-changing technology. But the gains of our investment, the people's investment, have not been shared broadly. They've gone to corporations and into the hands of the wealthy few. So our collective investment shouldn't make inequality worse. It should lead to job creation here in the United States. It should lead to policies that connect those living at the margins to quality training and the chance not just to work, but to build a career through good union jobs. You know, when Dr. King accepted the Nobel Peace Prize, he held our nation's new and astonishing peaks of scientific success. Dr. King said, and I quote, that we produce machines that think and instruments that peer into the unfathomable range of interstellar space. But Dr. King, in that speech, he noted something important was missing. He said there's a sort of poverty of the spirit, which stands in glaring contrast to our scientific and technological abundance. We have learned to fly like birds and swim the sea like fish, but we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers and sisters. And Dr. King was right. We cannot truly celebrate our achievements if those innovations divide us and deepen inequality. Our abundance of technology achievements should not be used to impoverish society. It should be a source of shared prosperity and opportunity. And I submit to you that it can, through intentional government policies with the interests of workers at the center of those policies, where strong unions can bargain for a fair deal for the workers, and where workers have a voice across the entire innovation ecosystem, from the first stages of R&D to implementation. If the aspirations and well-being of working people are considered just as, if not more, important than the wealth of corporations and their investors, then we can truly celebrate our abundance of achievements, and our society will be richer for it. We have a lot of ground to cover today, so I'm going to stop here. And I just want to once again thank everybody for attending this afternoon. And, you know, we're looking forward to this afternoon's first panel. So thank you all very much.
Another quick round of applause for the inimitable, the magnificent Secretary Treasurer of the AFL-CIO, Mr. Fred Redmond. Thank you so much. It is my privilege to introduce the next speaker, SAG-AFTRA Executive Vice President Ben Whitehair. Ben is a longtime actor, union member, and union leader who serves now as the number 2 officer in SAG-AFTRA. He has for many years been affiliated with our Innovation and New Technologies Committee and has led the member process around innovation and technology adoption, both within the union and on behalf of SAG-AFTRA members. Ben Whitehair.
Hello, everyone in the room and joining us at home. And thank you, Fred and Liz. It is truly an honor to be here with so many leaders who see the possibility of the future. When I was a kid, I was passionate about technology. I, like most of you, sold my champion sheep and used that money to buy parts to build a computer. And since that time, what I've really been passionate about is the intersection of technology and people. And to me, that is what is possible here at CES, is that it's not just about the technology. And those of us in this room and here understand that it is not just the tech, it is the people, it's how it interacts with people, and that at the end of the day, it is going to be a human being who is using or being used by technology. And like most things in life, there is a shadow side and a light side. And I think that our job here is to see where we as labor leaders, as unions, can leverage technology for ourselves and as our economies and industries continue to move forward. SAG-AFTRA has had a presence at CES for over 20 years, And I think it's imperative that all of us continue to look forward to where the technology is headed so that we can be strategic and thoughtful about how that's going to impact our industries and so that we can help shape it and not just be shaped by it. All of that said, the shadow side, and one of the things that is so, of course, fascinating and a little bit scary is the speed at which technology is advancing. And of course, the willingness by the powerful at times to abuse it at the expense of the rest of us. What's possible is truly awe-inspiring, but it also underscores that with each new breakthrough presents a crossroads where we can choose between a cyberpunk future or a Star Trek future. And those of us actors may be used to having cameras trained on us while we work, but that practice is increasingly spreading to other industries, from truck driving and delivery to office work to education, and it has raised more questions about the ethical implications of invasive surveillance, even as remote work and schooling proliferated during the pandemic. You may have heard about the incident last month in which facial recognition technology was used to identify and eject a mom from Radio City Music Hall after she went there with her daughter's Girl Scout troop to see the Rockettes. The woman happens to work for a law firm that is suing the venue's parent company, though notably, she wasn't involved in that litigation. And we have all heard the reports of massive corporations banning words like union and living wage on their internal communication apps. What many of these abuses have in common is that they further stack the deck, giving the powerful even greater ability to exert the power over those who often have little recourse. We must not be slaves to AI and algorithms and gig economy schemes that seek to drive down wages, and that is why it is so important that unions and the labor movement are here and have a seat at the table. The best tool to fight these threats is still good old-fashioned collective action, and that is why we're here. And I deeply appreciate that each of you feels as strongly about this as I do by evidence that you are here. Your expertise, devotion, and sense of justice are the ammunition that we need to win this fight. And if and when we succeed, the winners won't just be the people in this room or even union members, it will be all workers. As those of you who have attended this summit before know, and for any new union members joining us, the Labor Innovation and Technology Summit brings together leaders from across tech, labor, and entertainment sectors to discuss what innovation means in the future of work. The conversations focus on labor unions' roles in advocating for workers, as well as training a workforce that can thrive alongside technological innovation. Coinciding with CES, the summit centers the needs of workers in the conversation about innovation. And this year at CES, we've entered into an array of rich and comprehensive programming and panels that address some of the most pressing concerns when it comes to labor and technology, and how we can lead with a cohesive vision as we carve out new pathways within emerging tech, leading the way, not merely responding to what is set before us. This afternoon, we continue the conversation with several exciting panels, including our opening fireside chat on the topic of technology transformation and the future of workers, followed by a panel discussion, Who Does the Work? Preparing Workers for Technology Transition. Our final panel, Ethical Adaptation, focuses on how different segments of society can prepare to engage with a more machine-driven world. So without further ado, let's dive in. Thank you, everybody, for being here.